Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Final Fantasy 1, the Pixel Remastered. We had a good episode last time. Earthscape was taken care of without any major issues. And now we get to go do a little bit of sequence breaking, which I think is really cool. A lot of games, you got to do things in a specific order unless you're doing like a side quest. Once you get past the initial parts of this game, do whatever the hell you want. There's a lot that can be done, and it doesn't have to be done in any specific order, which I think is fantastic. Downside is that what we're about to do next, irregardless of what order you do it in, it's going to be a pain in the butt. Because there are two things that I would absolutely love to get done today. One is Castle of Ordeals, and the other is the Ice Cave. The Castle of Ordeals not going to be a major problem. More than likely, it should be okay. Ice Cave is a nightmare. It doesn't matter what your party comp is. It doesn't matter, what level you're at. It's just always going to be a pain in the butt. There's absolutely no helping it, and we're probably not going to get through it on our first try. Or our second. Or very possibly our third. Because the Ice Cave hates us. The man that designed the Ice Cave needs to see a psychiatrist. Because he's got some pent-up aggression issues that probably to this day have not been resolved. It is the hardest dungeon, in my opinion, in this entire game. It is, however, an essential part of the game. Like, you could go through and not do the Castle of Ordeals, not get the class advancements, and still beat the game if you grind up high enough. Completely valid. People have done it. even on a solo run. It's like, hey, I'm never gonna make my warrior a knight. You can do it, still beat the game. It would be a lot harder, but you could. So you could skip the Castle of Ordeals, just completely. You cannot skip the Ice Cave. And it's going to be a pain in the neck, but we're going to do it second because there's a couple of things I want from the Castle of Ordeals before we go forward. So these are the Great Sages, and they tell us everything we need to know about the plot. 12 Sages of the Week guided to this land by the stars and prophecy. So they'll tell you about the 4 crystals. The 4 fiends block the power of the crystals, claiming it as their own. They're basically parasites. Fire, earth, water, and wind. That gives you the order that you're nominally doing them in. You do earth first. The game wants you to go earth, fire, water, wind. You ain't got to. And it doesn't make a difference if you do it out of order once you've done with the Earth Shrine. The source of the 4 forces are the altars scattered throughout the world. Defeat the fiends that have taken root there and lift the crystal you carry to the altar. The crystal should regain its brilliance. Yeah. Plot to rule the world, both past and present. The Fiend of Wind appeared 400 years ago, followed 200 years later by the Fiend of Water. Together they laid waste to the civilization in the north. The Fiend of Earth rots the land. Well, he did, but he's dead now. Where the Fiend of Fire passes, all is engulfed in flames, yeah. When all 4 crystals shine once more, return here. All will be revealed. Bring the light of the 4 crystals to us. Words of light, only you can do this. The volcano Mount Gulg raises to the west of this town. The Fiend of Fire long slept within its passages, but she has awoken 200 years before her time. Vanquish her before the world is consumed in flame. So the main thing is that the fiends are basically, they're parasites. They've grafted themselves onto the altars. They're absorbing all that power. We're waking them up early. It's kind of like Stargate Atlantis. Oh, we woke up the Wraith, but they're very scattered and they're not at full power. Well done, Warriors of Light. You have defeated the Fiend of Earth and restored the crystal's light. Sadly, this has drawn the notice of the Fiend of Fire, who is not yet to have stirred for another 200 years. Take this canoe and go face the Fiend in Mount Glug. And we get a canoe. Something that you get in almost every game. They love to give you canoes. And this is Lucan. I see a cycle of wrath, a dim light, guided by destiny, about which our entire future revolves. Yeah. They could just tell you what's going on, but yeah, they gotta be a little bit cryptic about it because they're sages. God forbid you give a straight answer to the guys who are currently trying to save the world. I mean, why would you do that? Alright, let's see what we can do here. Okay. Mithril Sword. That's good for suck. The Mithril Axe, honest to God, it's 25 and 10, 23 and 15. I don't think losing 5 points of accuracy is worth 2 points of attack. I don't. But we're going to get a Mithril Sword for suck. And I don't know that any of the armor is going to be super important. Okay, so he's got Mithril Mail. Got the shield. Oh, he can use... We got bucklers. We can use bucklers. That's fantastic. 6 defense, weight 3 versus... Defense 4, weight 5. Okay, so the Mithril gauntlets are actually an upgrade. And Mithril armor is not as good, but the accessories are all good. Oddly enough. Alright, so we're just going to go optimal there. Oh, he's already got a Mithril Sword. You don't need anything. Optimize with you. The Worm Killer, really? That is a point higher. I kind of like the extra damage versus, anything that has magic as a tag, as opposed to being able to fight dragons. There's not enough dragons, I don't think, to make it worthwhile. Get a Mithril Sword. You're not getting the bonuses, but we can always slap the bonuses on. It's like, oh, I'm fighting something. Give somebody a Worm Slayer or something. So that's not bad. Defense of 22, defense of 44, 11 because he's naked. Defense of 19. So they are doing better in that regard. Fantastic. We don't have protection against instant death, which is kind of sad, but not really we can do about it. Okay. Can't use any of that because I think you need to be... We need to get advancement to get the higher level spells. Yeah. So none of this magic is going to do us any good for a while. And honestly, a lot of the attack magic, it sucks. He's not going to do great with it anyway. But now we have a canoe. Now, it wants us to go to... Where's the thing of the map? There we go. So that circle just west of our location is where the volcano is. Above that is the ice cave. And we're not going to either of those. We could. Hell, it might even be preferable for us to do it in the proper order. But the thing is that the ice cave is going to be a pain in the neck. We do get some stuff in the ice cave that will help us with the volcano. A couple of buccaneers. I'm actually playing Pirate Board with my brother and my sister-in-law right now, and we're having a fantastic time with that game. Let's hear it for the OSR. I'm trying to think of the best way to get there. Yeah, so everybody's got plenty of punch to them. Pun not intended. Armor's looking pretty good. Oh my god, so many Sea Devils. I thought you guys were supposed to start running away. Can I start looking forward to that? Cool news is that they can't really hurt anybody except for Jet, because Jet's kind of low on the whole defense department for the time being. He'll get there. We're going to actually have to give him some items at some point. What is that? I don't remember that at all. Interesting. I'm assuming it's part of the wider map. Okay, yeah, I don't remember it overlapping or there being that little hook there. Is there anything here that we would care about? There's no way to get off the ship here. There's definitely something up here, though. I'm kind of curious. And that buckler's already coming in handy, which is fantastic. Be about the only shield that anyone can work with for a while. What is that? Okay, can't worry about it right now, but we will be looking at it later. Once we get our airship, I'm going to remind myself to go back there because I'm curious. My God, these guys are persistent. And they're not... We're getting to the point where it's not really worth dealing with them. Either for money or for anything else. Alright, so Castle of Ordeals. Normally what you would do is that there's a... If you look to the east of my location, go past the little desert section, there's a little spot of green. You would land there with the airship, then have to trek all the way through all of that to get to the castle. Or, we have a canoe, we just get off at the river. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. I dig it. Makes my life easier. Got another gold needle. Not going to say no to that. And this is the Castle of Ordeals. Okay. I'm going to pop a tent here. And we're going to drop a quick save. Not a regular save. Reason being is that school's out. And my son is across the street at the park, and he doesn't know that I'm recording a video. So if he comes busting in and makes a bunch of noise, it's going to kind of ruin things. You come bearing the crown, I see. Your fortitude cannot be questioned. Indeed not. Very well, I shall grant you the right to undergo the trials. Go now, sit upon the throne. Your courage will be put to the test. If true courage dwells within you, you will find proof of it here. And this is just a little puzzle section that's not too bad. What you want to do here is always, if presented with two options, always take the lower teleporter. And try not to get murdered by all the monsters in here. Unfortunately, it'll be until Final Fantasy III where we get a blade that's effective against the undead. It would be nice to have one here now. Okay, so we take the lower of the two. And yes, these are actual teleporters. They're not magical tiles or anything like that. They're straight up tech. Oh, King's... A King Mummy. That's they can do magic. That sucks. We did outspeed them all, though, and the XP and money rewards are much better than sailing the oceans. Okay. as a dragon zombie. Good lord. I don't know. Oh, we actually killed him in a round. Okay. I didn't think we could. That thing punches like an absolute truck. And monsters? Nope. A potion. That's not what I was expecting to be in there. Okay, let's see. Some agility and some stamina, a little bit of HP, a little bit of HP, same thing. Same thing, but some luck. And yeah, that was pretty much all down the line. I think it's this one. Yep. Okay, we're good. Okay, you guys are all fine. I'll slap one on Arthur just in case, because he is in the position to take the most hits. Ew, that's ugly. Medusa's going to be a real problem because they can turn you to stone. And they're susceptible to fire. So Arthur got petrified. Thankfully, that does not prevent him from getting XP in this version. And we got a couple of little nails, so we just pop him up and he's good. Okay. This used to be a trap tile. 2 nightmares? Not a huge threat, if memory serves. They cast darkness. That's about all they really do. And that's all they tried to do. They didn't even try to physically attack, so, alright. Never had to fight those guys again. The healing staff. This is phenomenal. The ice brand, we're going to give that to Arthur. I guess I didn't really need to buy a mithril sword. I could have just waited and then given it to Suck. But for God's sakes, guys. Okay, hopefully I don't get too many people petrified here. Alright, easily done. A ruby armlet. So, who do we want to give the ruby armlet to? It's just as good as the armor that he's wearing, which is kind of funny. A lot more evasion, but no big deal. Okay, hold on a second. It would actually be really, really good for Jet. I'm thinking I might actually give it to him. Obviously, it would be great for Lamora, and pretty decent for Suck. Normally, I wouldn't. I'd give it to either Lamora or Suck, but honestly, I'm going to bite the bullet. We're going to give it to our boy Jet, give him a little bit of armor, because he's not going to catch up fast enough for it to matter. And steel gloves, which, no, not as good. That was a hell of a hit. Okay, money, monsters. I should have expected that. Okay, there we go. Gauntlets, that's what I was looking for. So, you can equip the gauntlets. I mean, I'm sure somebody can. Sort by items. No party members can equip this now. Okay. The cool thing is that they're not great on defense, but they give you the ability to cast lightning too. So this is your I sweep through groups for free thing. Okay, we've got the rat's tail. That's the thing over here, and now we need to get our way through. Well, bad timing. No, they're already trying to run away. That's ridiculous. Oh, they do poison too, because of course they do. How could I forget? Forget that. Okay, they're supposed to be weak to fire. Suck just doesn't have enough oomph to make it worthwhile. I'll do a solo run to like a black mage or something. He'll just destroy everything. There's that. Let's see. 2 zombie dragons, I expect. Yep, 2. Alright. Well, we know that magic's not going to get the job done, so just hit stuff, because he hits harder than he casts. Oh, they do paralysis. I forgot about that, too. Maybe we can get lucky. Leveled up. I got some HP, got some HP, got some HP, and even Suck got some HP. Nice. And just like that, we sit in the chair and route. Nice and easy. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. I don't think we need to pop a tent. I think we can wait. A couple of potions. And we only use the 1 spell, and quite frankly, it's not a huge deal. Alright, so let's see if we can get some use out of the gauntlets. Depending on whether or not he goes first. We massively overkilled that Sahag. Then you got 2 of them. I mean, that's not bad. Against groups of wolves or wargs or stuff like that, yeah, it's kind of useful. The thing is that the Red Mage really is more of a support caster. So, status effects and buffs and debuffs and stuff like that. Which does really limit his utility, because debuffs against enemies almost never work. And there's only a couple of buffs for allies that are really worthwhile. So he's not hitting as hard as he would with the sword, but against big groups, it still helps. Yeah, so he just wiped out the whole bunch. It's nice, it's easy, and most importantly, it's free. Because the gauntlets never run out of thunder. So between this and the heal staff, he's going to be good to go. So sharks have 120 HP, I believe. I have to double check real quick. Let's see, where's the sharks at? Oh, shark's up there. Yeah, 120 HP. So he's just short of killing a shark. About halfway. That's okay, though. The others are more than capable of killing the sharks. Okay, now I need to remember which way I'm going here, because this is a little bit of a maze, and I'm not as familiar with it as I used to be. Frost Crocs are kind of a pain in the butt. They're tough little buggers. Alright, but we have a map, so... Let's see. Alright, I got it. I got the path. A little bit easier than trying to do it on a paper map. I think we're going to switch over to the healing staff for a little while, though. It's not great healing, but it's free healing, and given enough time, and if we kill enemies fast enough, the proper turn order, get everybody up to full without too much trouble. And honestly, an extra sword right now, not the best use of our abilities. Now that Ochu could be a problem, though, not to mention the Hydra. Yeah, so we're basically healing off the poison damage on Jet, so it's still worthwhile. I think it's just taking chunks out of Jet. It did not like him. You don't take poison while you're on the boat or the canoe, so that's kind of neat. You have to burn a bunch of heal potions here. Alright, nice and easy on that, and we're almost where we need to be. We just pop a tent, drop a quick save, and off to the races. And hopefully... poisoned again. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to do it the way we have been doing it. The potions are cheap, and the antidotes are plentiful. The good thing is that thanks to the extra armor that we put on Jet, he only took 8 damage from that hit. So that's nice. And now comes, like I've said before, the absolute worst dungeon in this game. If we had the gear that we will get after this, it wouldn't be too bad. But everything in here hates us. And there's the Worm Slayer. And we're just going to try to hit him before he hits us. That didn't go so well. Okay. Let's try to run through here. We don't need all the items in here. And I'm not inclined to go on a full dungeon delve until after we've gotten some better stuff. Once we've got some items that protect from, instant death attacks and stuff like that, I'm more than happy to come back and just loot this place down to its foundations. But right now, it's just too much of a risk. Alright. Mayhaps I should have bought more potions. And probably shouldn't have burned it, giving him 1 more HP. The specters are trying to run away. That's massively unexpected. A little bit of HP and some agility, a little bit of HP, some decent stats. No stats and a trifling bit of HP. Come on, Lamora. And the same thing for Suck. Okay. I guess it's just one of those levels where you're not going to get anything good. Dear flippin' God. Okay. Let's see if we can soften these guys up a bit. That's the other thing that the Pixel Remaster does. You don't usually run into groups this big in the base game. So seeing this is like, oh god, that's so many bad guys. Thankfully, the gauntlets came in peak, and we didn't have to fight them all. Okay. There are multiple levels of this nonsense. You know, honest to God, if this is the only thing we keep running into, it won't be too bad. That being said, I regretted saying that the moment the words came out of my mouth. Yeah, even 2 hits of that was not enough to kill those things. Jesus. Alright, let's see. Yeah, they just hit really, really hard. Good lord. Okay, now this is where we get to the fun stuff. Or not, because there's going to be a lot of paralysis being thrown around right about now. Because all of these suckers can do paralysis. And the things that we need to worry about are now dead. Okay, cool. If you were to try to fight these guys as a solo run for any class other than a pure spellcaster like the mage, the white mage or the black mage, you're going to get paralysis and then chipped to death. Flame sword is very useful in here. It's not as good as, it's better than the mithril sword. It's not as good as the ice brand, but everything in here has the ice tag, so you're going to get 50% more damage out of it. So that more than makes up for lower stats. And anything in here that doesn't have the ice tag is undead, which also takes more damage from fire. So it's a win all the way around. I want to get that other chest, and then we need to fall through one of the cracks in the floor. Oh dear, these things have insta-kill. And they can do that, which doesn't scare me. And I forgot about that. Oh, and they are very physically tough. I don't remember that. Alright. That was a sphincter tightening event. Close! Why did I even bother with this chest? And rapidly starting to run out of potions. I may have to start actually buying some high potions. Which is going to suck. I don't want to do it, but... And then there's this encounter. Okay. This may not be too bad. Okay, so the tent did not give me that level 5 spell slot back. That's good to keep in mind. This should do a lot of damage, though, because they're all weak to fire. Okay, cool. So, every time you encounter this particular fight, because we're going to do it twice, it's always 9 monsters. Okay, we're not going to bother with any of the chests, we just need to get down there to the door. You take 1 point of damage for every step you take on one of those tiles, which is something to keep in mind. I think it's 1. We can test that later, because we're going to have to come back here a second time. And there's that insta-kill. Shit. So, stupid question. Do I have any Phoenix Downs on me? I do! I do have at least 1 now. Yeah, 1 Phoenix down. Let's hope we don't run into any more of those guys. So he's just going to be behind on the XP for a little while. Can't be helped. But better just that we had one death than everybody died. And Ether, there's a chest down there, and there's a couple of chests over there. Oh, great. That's really bad. Honest to God, we're going to kill the cockatrices first. Because they scare me more than the mummies do. Alright, cool. Now, of course, if you hit max level, it doesn't matter if somebody was behind. These guys aren't going to pose too much of a problem, I hope. And the other one ran away. Okay, cool. I can work with that. Money, a sleeping bag, and an ice shield. So, cool thing about the ice shield is it guards against fire. Is that a big deal right now? No. But it's a nice chunk to our defense, and it'll be very useful when we go into the next dungeon. And now we fall down a pit again. Don't ask me how we wound up a level higher doing that. I've never really understood that. And the Evil Eye, which is just a big nasty thing that we need to kill as quickly as possible before it instant deaths somebody, which we did. Hurrah! Now we got a Levy Stone. I think this used to be called the Floater. I'm actually kind of glad that they changed the name of that, because the term floater means something different now than it did way back when. But now we got to fall back down, do this fight again, and then we get out of here. And Lamore is just 96 behind. Goodness gracious. Okay. Not great level ups, to be completely honest. Alright. Now we were going to test this theory. So we are at 379, 224, 295, and 163. 378, 223, yada yada yada. So you lose one every step. We're going to have to be a little bit more industrious with our healing potions for a little bit. Oh, this sucks. Potentially this can suck quite a lot. Alright, I think that was my last fire spell. And that level up also sucked. Yeah, that's fantastic. Alright, so I'm out of the high level fire spells. That's fine, because we're almost out of here. Crap. Okay, they didn't insta-kill anybody. That's good. Come on, kill him. Okay. Okay, that was really, really close, and that's one of the reasons I do not like this dungeon, is it murders you. Okay, so we fell down a level, went up a level, fell down a level, went up a level, blah, 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 blah. These guys, on the other hand, not nearly as much of a threat as they used to be. Which is kind of nice. Actually feels kind of cathartic beating up on those guys after all that. Okay. And we're out. Thank God. That could have been horrible. Okay, so that's Cavern Ordeal's done. That's the Ice Cave done. And we actually managed to make it through in one shot, which was freaking awesome. We only had one person get insta-killed, and we got a Phoenix down right at the same time that happened. RNG has smiled upon us once again. So now we just have to hack our way out of here. And I'm thinking I'm going to switch him back to the Ice brand. Oh yeah, much better damage there. So we only have 2 things left to do. And they're both going to be very, very easy for the most part. I am going to be buying a bunch of potions and antidotes though, because I burned through a lot just on the Ice Cave alone. I think we had around 40 or something when we went in there. I think we've got like 7. That's your warrior for you. If he can get poisoned, he's getting poisoned. That's what he does. You know, I probably should start using the gauntlets again to help out with these guys. I didn't think about it. Since we're on the high seas and all. Okay, now this will be the last time we ever need to use the ship until I dock it at the Elf Town, just to make sure that it's somewhere safe, just because I'm a little OCD about that. Okay, almost there. Pretty sure the Ice Brand is going to be the best sword that Arthur has for a while. Alright, here we go. And we now have an airship. Nice and easy. Yeah, real quick before I forget, I wanted to look at this area right up over here on the map. Okay, there's no place to land over there. You can go up here. Some forest. Okay, that's just a different way to connect to the waterfall and to the name of this town that I can't remember. Not such a big deal. I just don't remember that being up there, probably because you never had a reason to go through all this. Alright, fair enough. Now, one of these, I don't remember which one, has Bahamut the Dragon King. It was not this one. A little bit of trial and error here. Okay, can't land there. It's very peculiar about where you can land. so bad. Okay, here we go. There is some money scattering in these treasure chests. I'm not worried about it right now. But at some point, we will have to go do a little bit of looting. Alright. Long has it been since men of courage stood before me. Your bravery seems worthy of consideration. The rat's tail you carry is a fitting token of courage and strength. I don't know why. So be it. I shall honor you with titles befitting your valor. I should have checked their stats. I don't think your stats go up when you do this. Alright, so Arthur is now a knight. He can start doing white magic at some point. Jet is a master. He punches more. That's the thing he does. That's the thing he only does. Lamora is a ninja. He gets black magic, which is kind of cool. And Suck is a red wizard, which means that he now has access to more magical spells than he would have before. They all get options for more items, which is kind of nice. Yeah, so tell him 9. He's still the smartest guy in the group, but not by a lot. He's also a very red group. Okay, let's see here. We're going to go find a town, grab a nap, and then we're going to call it a day. Since we can fly, the easiest thing to do is to go to the cheapest inn on the planet. Because I don't think they will have access to magic spells right now. And I think you only start developing the spell slots after you start leveling up after the class advancement, but I don't remember if they changed that or not. Nope, no spell slots for Arthur or Lamora. Okay, that's fine. Meanwhile, he can now use the Flame Sword. And I think he gets another upgrade as well. He can use the gauntlets, but don't know why you would. Mithril Sword on you. He can now use the Mithril Shield, which is really nice. You can use the Steel Gloves, which is really nice. Don't have a better armor. Use the Great Helm. So why wouldn't we do that? Yeah. And he can use everything anyway, so that's not a huge deal. But that is going to be it for now. We made it through the hardest dungeon in the game. Everything after this is going to be pretty much a cakewalk with a few exceptions. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Peace.